Well, reports coming in from Turkey have informed us that a side known as Arsenal have gone ahead to make their first bid for Kadioglu, who comes in through from Turkey. But before all that came in through, Borussia Dortmund were the first obviously put in a bid, already make what we call a huge consultation that might have gone ahead to threaten the side of Arsenal. Onslaught was unveiled yesterday as the Liverpool manager. Went ahead obviously speak on to lots of things, and we are here to obviously talk about some of the hints that he put out. And Dortmund are not scared by Premier League clubs regarding Guirassy transfer hijack. Welcome to this channel. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Looks like Arsenal are really closing in on signing the 24-year-old, the 24-year-old Turkish international that plays for Fenerbahce in the Super League, and he plays as a left back, but he can also play in the midfield and very many other positions. When I look at him, he's really right-footed, but he plays as a left back. He can play in the midfield, he can play as a right forward, he can play as a left forward, and in the midfield he can also play some huge roles in there for you, and he can also play as a right back. So that is the guy known as this guy. His preferred foot his preferred foot is a right foot, and his contract is running out in 2026, meaning that he's left with 3 years on his contract, and he really has a very huge chance to obviously leave the side of Fenerbahce, and very many teams are really looking at him. Even Bayern Leverkusen are really looking at him, and they're really wanting to sign him. So let's thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims. Barakallahu fikum. Today is a Thursday, and tomorrow you guys are getting into what we call a Juma Karim, and for the Christians, we cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Now today, we got a story coming in from Sobichonglu, big journalist coming in from Turkey, telling us that Borussia Dortmund have made official contact with Fenerbahce regarding Ferdi Kadioglu. You understand? Now, this guy, or the person that's reporting this story, has 1.3 million followers, and I remember him so much when Weghorst was crossing from Besiktas to Manchester United, and Atil Bendair crossing from the side of I think Fenerbahce, obviously coming through and play for the club of Manchester United as a second choice goalkeeper for the club of Manchester United. After that, 2-3 hours later, we went ahead obviously getting a huge update coming in through from Ajanspar, another credible source coming in through from Turkey, that Arsenal have tabled a bid of 20 million euros, that is 16.8 million pounds, plus 5 million euros of add-ons, that is 4.2 million pounds of add-ons. In total, 21 million pounds for Fenerbahce left back Ferdi Kadioglu. However, Fenerbahce are asking for 35 million euros, or 29.5 million pounds. Now, Arsenal have gone ahead obviously put in that bid, and remember, it has been long since we last went ahead and obviously talked about this bid that Arsenal was going to put it in. You remember, we told you here that Arsenal was going to put in the bid for Ferdi Kadioglu, and that bid has gone ahead to be rejected. That bid was promised like I think a month back, and Arsenal have gone ahead obviously put in that bid. And Fabrizio Romano, while on playback yesterday and YouTube Live, he hinted on Arsenal starting to attack the transfer window in a very busy manner this week. And if this is the take, then Fabrizio Romano was really spot on, because if Arsenal go in for Ferdi Kadioglu, it's really very important to note that they are really looking in for versatile players. I've already told you that versatility now is what Arsenal need, and players that are really finished articles. And there are those players that have not gone ahead to be playing in the Premier League, but they can through and really put in an instant impact. Look at the player called Saliba. When Arteta came in through, he loaned him to Lille, and then later he was sent back to play for the side of 2021 I think was at Real. 2021, 2022 Arteta sent him back at Marseille, and 2022, 2023 he made his debut season for the club of Arsenal. And you remember all what he went ahead and obviously put up as a player, and we still remember that he went ahead to put in a very huge shift into the mix. That is Saliba. For you look at Sorry about that. Look at Julian Timber coming in through and fitting in like a glove, right? So for Arsenal, they're really working hard, I think, on this deal because there is something special about this guy. He's a special talent that Arsenal believe should be playing at Arsenal, and the interest that he's really vast from other teams shows you that there is a very huge player in Ferdi Kadioglu. When you see Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Leverkusen looking at this player, it obviously sends a message to you that they are looking at him as the next player that is going to play 2 seasons at their club and then sell him hugely. Because if Borussia Dortmund or Bayern Leverkusen take him, he'll play maximally and then he'll obviously be sold for like 60 million euros in the coming 2 seasons. And for Borussia Dortmund, they've gonna hate to miss out onto Ian Masten, and Ian Masten looks like he's going to Aston Villa. They never wanted to pay 35 million euros, and I don't know whether they can obviously come in through and really meet the realistic evaluation of, or the asking price of Fenerbahce. 35 million euros they failed to pay for Ian Masten, and can they really pay this amount of money for a player called Kadioglu? I think no, meaning that Arsenal's bid is not really up to the standards, and it's hoped to be rejected, and it's in, and these are credible sources coming in from Turkey, and very soon we'll really hear from people like David Austin, Fabrizio Romano, Sami Mikbal, and very many others that are really credible. But the credible journalists from Turkey are confirming to us that the bid is really in, and I think out of those clubs that are really competing with Arsenal, no one can really go north of like 20 million euros. That is it, and I think Arsenal can go north of that and obviously secure this deal, because if you sign in a player, Kadioglu, at 29 million pounds, that is 35 million euros for the club of Arsenal, I think it's a bargain. You are getting in a quality player on a cheap that he's gonna come in through and obviously be known a starter in the club of Arsenal, but but a bench player, and later, if at all he proves himself, he'll get into the team of Arsenal, because I've always told you that Arteta is the manager who believes in what we call merit, or choosing a player on merit rather than favoritism. That is Mikel Arteta for you, and that's what he does for the side of our players. And if at all you are Ferdi Kadioglu, you'll need an assurance from Arsenal that they are going to really get you played in every game, or get you enough playing time. You get, because for a player like Kadioglu, when you get from Fenerbahce, a team that is going to be giving you very many games, and you come to Arsenal and don't play as much as possible, there will be what we call a depreciation into what we call your value and your stake into the national team. And he played 37 games last season in the Turkish Football League, 1 goal and 4 assists. In the Turkish Cup, 2 games, 0 goals, 0 assists. UEFA Europa League, 8 games, 0 goals, 0 assists. And that is the guy known as Ferdi Kadioglu. And I would love to say to it that we really get in an update coming in from frequent journalists. But as I told you, we as this channel, we're obviously coming through to bring you news that has gone to be thrown out and get you what we call the reactions onto these. And if I do remember the deal of Mikhailo Modric, it came from such people, you know, and then later the likes of Fabrizio came in through to obviously talk about it. But remember, Fabrizio had told us that Arsenal is looking out for what we call a mystery, you know, for what a mystery winger, and it was later revealed as Modric. You understand? So that is it coming in through from Turkey. Turkish reports are saying Arsenal have gone ahead to put in a bid of Ferdi Kadioglu, and anytime from now we'll be getting clarifications from the tier 1 journalists on whether they are following up on it or not. And I know in the next 2-3 hours we'll be really well versed with what is happening down that side. Now let's go to the new manager of Liverpool. We all know that it is Arne Slot, one of those managers that was at Feyenoord and is now playing, or now going to be managing the side of Liverpool. One of the quotes he put out when he was unveiled as a manager for Liverpool, he said, I think it's the style of many modern coaches at the moment. We were all a bit inspired because of the rivalry between Man City and Liverpool. We were all inspired by Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp. So he's giving Klopp his flowers, Pep his flowers, and looks like the style of play he's bringing on is really going to be one of the possession best, but with a little bit of intensity. That's how the Dutch really play their beautiful game of football. So he went ahead to put out very many other quotes, but I'm going to be really dropping them very soon. And last, let's talk about Guirassy. He's one of those strikers that is being linked to Premier League clubs, but Fabrizio Romano told us that Borussia Dortmund are not scared of Premier League clubs regarding Guirassy because they believe they have presented the best project. The club believes this deal can happen soon. Dortmund remain clear favorites. So Guirassy is one of those strikers that I believe he can really fit in the Premier League. He has the height, he has the pace, he's a clinical finisher, and obviously he has the pace, and he has also assists with him. He scored very many goals, and Borussia Dortmund are really leading the race. In the due course of them leading the race, they've come up, obviously let us know that it's not as easy as people really think it is, and they've gone ahead to put in what we call huge shifts after shifts to see to it that they convince this guy to obviously join them. And I brought you a story like 2-3 days back that Guirassy has gone ahead obviously come to his conclusion that Borussia Dortmund is his ideal destination this summer transfer window. He was linked to Manchester United and Arsenal during the January transfer window of this year, but no team really went in for him yet. He was up for grabs at only 18 million euros, and it looks like even right now that's the price that you're supposed to go in for to obviously get him at your club. So looks like he's gonna be the next striker at Borussia Dortmund, and him and Falkirk will be leading the line and competing for that number 9 position, and that means Sebastian Haller will be paving way to the side of this guy to obviously come in through and compete, because they believe like they're not trusting him to lead the line, and he might really return to the Premier League because the Premier League is really looking at very many other different strikers in that ilk, so that all comes in through. But I call upon for your reactions into the comment section below about Kadioglu, Fred Kadioglu, first bid submitted in by Arsenal, £21 million bid that was going to be submitted by Arsenal. Then what do you make about the man himself known as Onslaught, obviously revealing his style of play that is going to be really using into the Premier League? And lastly, Guirassy. Do you think Borussia Dortmund shouldn't fear or have any threat from the Premier League and they are really strong? May the living to God bless you abundantly. Rokani David remains my name. I sign out for now. See you later, and I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. May the living to God bless you abundantly. We out, my mates.